He's asking his disciples to do something that's impossible. Why? The Apostle John, we love the Apostle John. The Apostle John inserts color commentary into his history in the Gospel of John, and we love him for it. So I'm going to put it on the wall. You write it in your margin. John 6:6, John's writing of the same account. John 6, verse 6 says, he was testing them. He was testing them, for he already knew what he was going to do. Man, it's a test. When Jesus puts you between a rock and a hard place, so you see no way out, you have no answers on your own, you have no logic, no reasoning, you can't see the next step. He's like, perfect. Finally got you where I need you. And you're saying, Lord, this is impossible. He's like, yeah, keep it coming, right? And then at some point you break and you say, Lord, only with you will I get through this. Only by you being my source for everything I need, every breath I take, will I make it through this. And he's like, whew, about time, right? And then he's like, okay, start turning the pressure cooker down. They're getting it. He demanded the disciples do something impossible to prove something to them. But the disciples didn't know. They didn't know it was a test. They didn't have the Gospel of John to read. It's a test. And the pressure you're feeling may very well be a test. And if you feel like Jesus has asked you to do something impossible, if in fact he has asked you, it's a test. It's a test. But it's not a test of pass or fail. It's what we call a laboratory test. There's a Greek term for it, not that important, but it's used in Romans 12:2, where it says prove what is that good and acceptable will of God. That's the word. It means to prove by testing. Jesus is trying to prove himself to his disciples by testing them so that they will find out at the end Jesus is the source. Jesus is the source for all that I need. All that I think is impossible. Jesus is the source for all of it, for me to be able to do what he's called me to do. What Christ has called you to do, he will be the source for you to do it. That's the test to prove that truth to the disciples. Jesus became the source of all that the disciples needed in order to accomplish all that he called them to do. If Jesus is calling you to do something, he wants you to learn that he will be the source for you, for all that you need to accomplish what he's calling you to do. We have got to get this lesson.